Hey guys, I'm MeeMee and I do Allsorts, and today I'm doing a scroller box. But as you can see, there is no scroller box here, just the contents. That's because I'm a huge germaphobe and unfortunately I had to get rid of the box. So I took the contents out and got rid of the box. So this is what we've got into here. I haven't looked at anything, just only what you see here. If you don't know what Scrollbox is, Scrollbox is an art subscription box here in the UK. I'm not sponsored, not affiliated, and I'm just a huge fan. So this beautiful purpley pal here is May's box, and normally here and say, right, let's see what we get inside. I rip open the pull tab and then I'll be like, ta-da! This is what we get in May's box. So first off, we have our featured artist. This is such a beautiful image. I cannot for the life of me draw roses, let alone try to colour it, but I absolutely love the way how it's been shaded. Now I'm really intrigued into what we're going to get in the box. So our featured artist is art by Savannah, and there's some information if you would like to have a look at her work. So I'm super excited already, and that's just by the featured artist. Right, next up we got our scroller zine. So the scroller zine will have everything from all of our art supplies, about the artist, hints and tips, and about Scrollbox. But I'm not going to take a look at this because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Like I said, I have not seen anything else. The only thing that I've seen was the scroller zine and the featured artist, so everything else will be a surprise. So I'll put that to one side. Ooh! So our paper for this month is Goldline A5 cartridge pad. It's got 16 sheets and it's 120 GSM, and it's by my favourite brand, Clairefontaine, and this is also produced exclusively for Scrollbox. So I have no idea what cartridge paper is or what it's used for. Feels like paper, but it feels a bit thicker. It's got a bit of a rougher texture as well. How very intriguing. Oh, I can't wait to try that out. Which then brings us on to the supplies. As you can see, this is how it's taken out of the box. The sticker's still there, so I have no idea what's in it. So in May's supplies we get, ooh! So first up we've got a die cut sticker, which is the same image as the featured artist. And speaking of purple, we have one of my favourite sweets, blackcurrant and licorice. So this is a blackcurrant flavoured hard-boiled sweet with licorice in the middle. Now I love my licorice, but I do love how the package is purple, matching everything else. Right, here we've got our destruction list, but we will not be looking at that yet. Right, up next we have a very tiny bottle. So this is a pearl burnish. It's liquid white coloured pencil. What? Liquid white coloured pencil. Oh, that's very interesting. The only liquid and white that I've ever heard of is from Bob Ross, but a liquid and white coloured pencil. But it'll be interesting to find out, because I have never seen this before. And I love the fact how it's in a really cute bottle, and by the looks of it, it's got like a little dropper in or something. Right, up next we have a pen from Derwent. It's a line maker, and it's a 0.05, so it's very, very fine. I love the fact how, you know, instead of calling them a fine line and then just give them different names like line maker or like black liner. But I don't know the difference. If it makes a line, it makes a line. So this is super fine, free-flowing permanent liners. Next up we have a paintbrush with the unknown origins. There's nothing on the handle whatsoever. That's what the brush looks like. And last but not least, we have Posca pencils. What? When did Poscas do pencils? Can they even do pencils? If you don't know, Poscas are acrylic paint markers. Whoa. Dude, this is so surreal. So here we have 6 colours. So we've got 2 blues, 2 purples, a grey and a peach, and that's what the leads look like. And this is a bit more of a close-up, so it says Uni Posca pencil. It's got a coloured end with a number. Now you do get the colour name there, which is blue, and there's a close look at what the lead looks like. And other than that, it's just a plain black barrel. Oh, this is like so surreal. I don't know what to think. I can't find the words for how weird this actually is. Oh, and I've also found out as well that these exclusive colouring selections for Scrawlerbox. See, now this is why I love getting Scrawlerbox, because I get weird and wonderful supplies like Posca pencils. I never even knew the Poscas did pencils until now. Right, let me get tidied up a bit and I'll have a look into what the destruction list says. Okay, so I've read my little card, and this is a combination of wax and oil to achieve a strong but soft lead that can be used to produce a highly concentrated, smooth, bright colour with a matte finish. So essentially like Poscas but in pencil form. But like I said, Posca pens are acrylic. So this is going to be interesting to use, and not only that, but they work the same way as Poscas, where they can be used on surfaces such as paper, card, wood, metal, leather, glass, plastic, canvas and organic materials such as stone. So that is really interesting and I want to try that out. The liquid white is sort of what I thought it was, in like a highlight you can build up on top of it. Once it's dried you can go on top of it with the pencils, and apparently that's meant to really put some punch into the colour, and it actually dries permanently as well. So this is going to be really interesting to use. So I will be experimenting with it, but it will take a while to dry. Alright, so now on to my favourite part, and I get to test out all of the lovely supplies as well as trying out the Poscas. So first off I'm going to start off with the line maker. I had to double check to see if that's a maker instead of marker. So we've gone to extremely fine lines there because the tip is so fine. I do actually have a 0.03, which is much finer than that. But I do like to work a little bit larger than that. You know, this line width is perfect for like the extra fine details like the lashes. Next up I'm going to try out the Poscas, and I'm super excited. Oh, wow. Oh, that is smooth and super creamy. That is super saturated. I love it. In real life it is still a bit darker, but these colours are absolutely beautiful and vibrant. I love it, and like I said, it went down so smooth, so creamy. Ooh, I think I found my new favourite pencils, and I've only just swatched them out. And having said that, I'm going to do a gradient. But the looks of it, it does actually do a really nice gradient. And there you go, you can see it a bit better. Ooh, I'm so excited. Just going to see how this draws on top. Yep, it draws on top, that's perfect. And so I've just scribbled some colour down so we can actually see it, and I want to see what this is like in action. And it does actually come with a little dropper. So that is actually quite thick, and it does cover in quite nicely. Okay, so it goes down really thickly, but if you spread out a little bit it does thin, and it does actually pick up the colour from the bottom as well. And so what I've done there is that I've gone into a really thin layer and I've got a really thick layer. So I'm going to let that fully dry, and then I'm going to go on top of it with the same colour and to see if it actually really makes the colour pop. Yeah, so while I'm waiting for everything to day and for that to dry, you will only get to see it in 2 seconds. So I left the liquid and white for a while, and so I did like a thin piece and then like a really thick piece. The thin one in sort of like dulled down the colour, and I was really going ham and really getting the pigment in there, but it just lightened it up. Obviously because the base is white and that's what it's meant to do, make things lighter. I had no problems with getting the pigment down. It was the really thick one when even if I went on it lightly, the whole thing came off. And I've also noticed as well the paper's buckling a little bit where the liquid white is, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, and with that, let's see what the challenge for this month is. And it is Secret Garden. First thing then comes to mind is actually the book, The Secret Garden. I haven't read it, but I've seen the movie plenty of times, and that's so nice, so whimsical, and quite sad as well. So I'm going to have a think of this, and I will get right back to you. So what I wanted to do was go a bit surreal, a bit abstract. So I decided to do like a sad view of a leopard surrounded with flowers that you will find in the UK. Unfortunately, I don't know the names except for like tulips and poppies. That's the extent of my knowledge at the moment. I just found them on the internet. So this is going to be really interesting because again, I'm working with these colours only. So I'm actually really looking forward to this. I've got no plan going and I just think of it and I do it. So it'll be fun to see how this turns out, and really put these Posca pencils to the test. Also, as well, these pencils do lay on top of each other, which will really help when I'm doing the spots later. Now, I love working with pencils because it feels like I'm having more control over them, but they do take a long time, especially when you're layering up, so it does take quite a while. But you know, I actually do like it. And not only that, but especially when the animals then have fur, you can get more control over like the fur texture. So the idea behind this is that, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted something like really surreal with this. So my first thoughts were, having a leopard, and the leopard being in like an English garden. So I'm on to the last stages now, when all I need to do is add the black and add the liquid white. The problem with the liquid white now is that it does not come off the paintbrush. It's been on there for quite a while. Obviously you can see I'm trying to wash it out with water, but it's still there. So I don't know what to do. And then since the only time I've ever seen liquid white was on Bob Ross, so I think that I need like either turpentine or like odorless paint thinner. So that's what's been happening. No, I don't want to go too ham on the black because I don't want to lose what I've already done. It's mainly just to pick out all of the details. Alright, and there we go. Now I am super stoked at how this actually came out. It came out way better than I thought. You know, something that I normally don't go for, you know, like if I'm going to do an animal, I'll do the animal and maybe be some of the background, but this was just like a little bit too surreal for me. But honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved working with the supplies and loved the subject matter. So first off, the Posca pencils. Oh my word, I cannot highly praise these enough. Even though that I do love using pencils, I'm not entirely that great at them. I can layer, but I don't think that this paper was right for these because they were so creamy. You can actually see when the textures of the papers, especially down here in the poppies. So because these are like so smooth and an absolute dream to work with, I think that these ones have worked so much better on smooth paper. I really want to use these again. They were so amazing to work with. Now I know that there's a pencil brand that's just as smooth, and I can't remember whether it's the Faber-Castell Polychromos or the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. But with the absolute vibrancy of the colours and how nice they worked with each other, you could actually layer up, and as you see me do. The lights can go on top of darks, the darks can go on top of lights, so if you made a mistake you could correct it. It happened an awful lot in the poppies when the grey actually washed down to this wine colour, and I just went on top with the wine colour again and brought it back. So that in itself, you know, will definitely be well worth the money. Now I would say go online and have a look in something could be a bit cheaper than like either the Faber-Castell Polychromos or the Karen Dash Luminance ones, because honestly those two brands in themselves are very expensive. But and definitely do some research, even if you can get like a 12-pack, you know, and honestly guys, give these a go. The Derwent Line Maker on its own, it works beautifully. I really do love how thin the line's got, and on here I only put in like little bits of fur texture. It was an absolute challenge to put pen on top of the pencils because they would just dry out in the tips so quickly. But it actually worked out really well because it got this like scratchy texture and it's not like too bump in your face, because I wanted like the main colour of the pencils to like really shine through. And other than that, it's a really nice fine liner to work with, and I didn't break it. And the liquid white, well, that was an experience. I really love the fact that it came with little drop-ins, so I wasn't wasting anything. And as I said earlier, it was, you know, it got stuck on the paintbrush, so unfortunately I don't know what to do with that, but so I'm sure it'll clean up and, you know, the bit of paint thinner. But this was actually really nice to work with. They actually gave me the highlights that I needed. I may need to go back over a couple of areas. It does take a while to dry, depending on how thick you put it on. A thin layer, yes, it will dry a lot quicker. I think with these pencils you will have to layer on top. I mean, I can see on the eyes where I have actually put a bit of highlights, they will need to be redone. But other than that, this is actually quite neat. And not only that, but it's also archival as well, so it's going to be around for a very long time. The paper itself, I really don't know what to say about it, because again I have no idea what cartridge paper is. I think from what I remember is that they were using like the standard sketchbooks back in school, you know, and they were sort of like multi-purpose balls. At the same time it was crap, but this is like better quality than what you got in those sketchbooks. But it was actually really nice to work on. It's got into rough texture to where the pencil's gripped onto it really well. You can even see the texture in the flowers, you know, and it held up really well considering I gave it a damn good beating. So yep, I actually quite like the paper. Right, and that's that. So if you guys would like to have your own scroll box, I will leave a link in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.